Hey everyone, welcome back to the Anderson Bros Outdoors. Today we're going to be covering some modifications on my TRX4M. I had some questions surrounding them, so I kind of wanted to make a quick video to showcase them and then also provide some footage of my TRX4M Bronco versus Colton's TRX4M Bronco out at the creek on some ice and snow. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. Alright, let's go ahead and kick this off. So here is my TRX4M. As you can see, it is a bit dirty. Obviously it is the Bronco edition. I got black. I prefer black or white over the other colors. But yeah, so you can see we've got upgraded wheels and tires, things of that nature. And then I did do some different things to the body, such as remove the spare tire as it did get in the way, but we'll get into all of that in a minute. So the first thing I want to do is go over the body. So I'm just going to pull this off. So the body, as you can see here, is in, I wouldn't say rough shape, but it's been used, worn in, well worn. I did install the light kit, so it did come with the new rear tail lights, and then the front lights stay the same. You just add the light to it. So again, one of the major modifications that I've done is I've actually removed the fender flaring. So what I did is I ended up taking a pair of dikes and cutting the plastic right here, and then right here and right here, and it just pulled that whole subframe part out. Now what I need to do is put these two screws back in here, because if you don't put those two screws back in, that is the part for your mirrors / windshield wipers, and it will pop out or potentially pop out. So those need to go back in there. No big deal, it slides right back in. So again, yeah, I mean there's really not a I would say I don't know, there's really not any compromise to the body removing that plastic frame, so it does allow for a lot more travel, and then also larger tires, right? And then moving into the chassis, before we do that, we'll put the body on, and you can see where I have done the trimming, right? So these are 60mm Super Swamper Endura tires with some cheapo Endura wheels. These are beadlock wheels. The wheels themselves are fine. They are relatively light. The biggest problem that I had with these is the hardware that was provided with them. So these screws are very cheaply made. So when you try and screw them in, you strip them. I've stripped probably 75% of them. So these tires are not coming off of here without a lot of work. And then actually on some of these you can see, yeah, so like this screw here, I don't know if you can see that very well. You can see that it's sticking out. Well, that's because it's stripped and I can't screw it in or out. So yeah, you can see there's a lot more clearance. There still is some rubbing, so when you're at full turn and you're at full droop on one side and full compression on the other, so like right here you can see it does eat the body some, and you will hear it, but it doesn't stop it from going. Whereas before, the fenders would actually, it would eat so much of the fender flare that it would actually stop the truck from moving. So, and then again, I did remove the rear spare tire here because it was a hindrance. I didn't think it looked very good being all soft plastic like this, and being all soft plastic. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't think it's a very attractive piece personally, so I did remove that. And then I did trim the front bumper, as you can see here. I did cut that away with some dikes. I would highly recommend maybe using some kind of sanding device or something to make it look a little better, but I'm not super concerned about the looks. The good news is that it does not any longer rub on the bumper, because it came out here and it would rub right there. My initial thought was, hey, we'll just take this entire bumper off and not run the bumper temporarily, because as you can see, I no longer have the fog lights. I did have to cut those out, and I kind of wanted to keep them, but you know, it's I do have the headlights, so it's not super concerning. I did take the bumper off, and the problem with that is this portion of the bumper here, so this portion here actually holds the body on. And so when you put the body on, it clips in here, but the front end moves back and forth really, really wildly. So, you know, it doesn't work. You have to have the bumper on if you're going to run the body. And then, you know, moving further back here, you can see I do have the brass parts in it. We do have these brass bits. I do have the hubs on order. I'm not sure when they'll be here, maybe next week. I have the diff case cover in the front, and then I did install bearings in the hubs. One of the other modifications, as you can see, is the Reef 99 Micro here. I do have a video on that. You can see it on the channel. It was not as painful as I thought it would be, but it's not as easy as you know, as just dropping it in and going. So if you're going to tackle that, I would highly recommend watching the video and making sure you have the appropriate tools for the job. Otherwise, you're going to get very frustrated. I haven't actually done anything with the motor or the transmission at this point. I do have the Fury Tech brushless motor and ESC on order. Hopefully that comes in this week. We'll see. I'm not sure. So everything else is pretty much stock on the bottom, really the middle section after the brass up front. I didn't put any brass in the rear at this point because of the fact that you know, the weight distribution with the body on is already pretty much 50-50. That's in another video as well. And then finally, the rear bumper, I did do some partial trimming on that. So you can see that stock, it does have a piece that comes out. Well, that piece was dragging on the rear tires, so I just clipped it off on both sides, and bam, no more problems with clearance or travel in the rear. So with that being said, these are 60mm tires. I will be doing a tire challenge. Here you can see there are some 62mm tires. These are a tad bit taller, so they will rub into the body a little more. But I think the 60mm are perfect, honestly. I wouldn't go any larger or any smaller, maybe depending on the scenario, but I think that this size is the perfect size for the vehicle. At least in relatively stock form. There's not a whole lot of obstacles that it can't do. I will say that, you know, the one thing that it definitely needs is the brass wheels for the additional weight, and then potentially removing, if you don't have the brass wheels for the weight, removing the foam out of these tires. You can see that these tires are very stiff, and so it doesn't have the weight to really dig very well. And so when you're trying to do an extreme crawl or go up a vertical that's like this, you know, the tire, it just kind of sits there like that, right? Where you really want the tire to be dug in like that, because it's going to give you maximum traction. So I was going to remove the foams out of these, but you know, as I stated previously, the the screws there are pretty much stripped out. So I'm not going to remove these until my new wheels come in this week sometime. So that way I can put them on the new wheels and not have to worry about these, because it is very much a hassle. I think I spent an hour and a half trying to get these installed. So yeah, I think that's really all I have. I mean, you know, I've got the body modifications, trimmed the bumpers, added the servo, and that's, you know, added the brass bits, the wheels and tires, and I mean it does extremely well. We do have some footage coming up, and I will show you that even in, you know, 4-degree temperatures, trying to go through ice and snow. I mean, it just, for 150 bucks, I mean, I probably have, I think these were like 15 bucks. So, you know, the diff covers were another 20 bucks. So what's that, 35? This was, the servo was $65. So maybe $250 total. It is a very competitive vehicle, and honestly, I don't have an SCX24. I will probably get one and max it out and just do a cost difference between the two and see, you know, how they perform against each other. It's not really fair because it is supposed to be a 24 scale and these are 18 scale. But in terms of, you know, cost differences, right? I mean, out of the box, this is very capable, and then again, you don't necessarily need the servo, but if you start adding weight to the front, you will need it. You will strip the plastic gears out of the stock one. You can get the Traxxas servo. I think that they're like $40 to $45, so you'll save 20 or so dollars there, but the responsiveness and the, you know, the longevity, I think, of the Reefs servo, I mean, you just can't beat it. It's just fun. So I think this is what RC is all about, you know, just enjoying yourself, you know, having a good time, and this really provides that experience. So we are off the ground there. Hey, if you've made it this far, thanks for watching. At this point, we're going to go into the footage of them driving. Remember, please like and subscribe or not. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it.
No, there is no breaks through this. This is 100% frozen. I lied. Almost. It wants to go. Mine won't go that far. It's not fast enough. Oh, there it is. That throttle gear won't let mine go. Oh, come on. I don't know. It's definitely got its advantages, but it's definitely got its disadvantages as well. Yeah, you did. I sure didn't. I bet you it's cold enough we could do some XRT and Creighton donuts tomorrow on the lake.
Probably, if it stays this cold.
Oh, just made it up. I got up where you could make it up there too.
Make it up right there.
Huh?
Make it up right there.
Right there? Right here's a pretty tough spot. No time.
You think?
I don't have the speed. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I don't have the wheel speed to spin them anymore. That almost makes me want to go back to my faster gears. That doesn't pull down when it's flexing, but it just doesn't have. This is about like that little Banshee.